Hello, hello. I am so excited to be back with you all today for our LinkedIn Live series, kind of our lunch chat, where I pull a topic from the community and chat it up with you all for 15 minutes, just giving you some quick tools to put in your toolkit as leaders to support you on topics that you identify and want me to kind of share some tools around. So thank you for continuing to share those topics with us. By all means, please continue to do that because it's the way that this engine works, right? So this month, our topic is how to build a culture of inclusivity. And I did a little post on this back in February, but fun fact if you didn't know, April is actually Diversity Month. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to go back into the vault um, because of folks asking about it and really wanting to understand how to actually maintain and create really a culture of inclusivity. We thought this month's LinkedIn Live would be a great opportunity to share it, given the fact that it's Diversity Month. So 15 minutes. I'll try to do it in about 8 or 9 to make sure that we have some time to answer any questions that you might have. So as I'm sharing, if you have questions, go ahead and populate it in the comment section so that I can make sure to address it before we end. If not, just know that if we don't speak to it during the live itself, because we are going to keep it tight and right at 15 minutes, I'll answer it after the live is over. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 quick tips on how to create as well as maintain a culture of inclusivity as a leader. So the first one is probably a little obvious, but I don't want to make any assumptions. The first one is to have a group that is diverse. And the reason why I put that obviously is like, duh, but I want to make sure that I double click on what I mean by diverse because there's a lot of language about that these days. What I mean is diversity of thought. And typically speaking, someone has a diversity of thought, style, habits, perspective because they have different dimensions, right? They the diversity of thought from someone who is a mom living in urban center versus a mom living in rural, their perspective, their habits, their styles are different. And so I want to expand your perspective when someone uses the term diversity. Don't just think of it as real basic like gender, race, yes, but it's because we want diversity of thought that comes from the different perspectives of gender, race, experience, cognition, etc. Okay, so the first tip, y'all, have a diverse team. Build a diverse team. Bring folks along that you can collaborate. That's going to offer you different perspectives than your own. That's your first tip. The second one is when you bring them in onto the team, encourage participation, right? Often what happens with teams as they're trying to really navigate this inclusivity thing is that you tend to lean on folks that you perhaps as a leader are more comfortable with, maybe remind you of yourself, maybe have worked at companies that you worked at. So you tend to lean on them, or you lean on a style that's like your own. But to build a culture of inclusivity, you kind of got to go out of your own comfort and norm and look for opportunities to encourage participation and voice from those that typically may not speak. And so you may have to actually tap someone and ask, hey, what do you think on this? Or, hey, I'd love for you to take a shot on this project. It also might mean I need to be quiet for a little bit to allow for our introverts to have space to think and to share, right? So yes, build a team with diverse perspectives and styles, but then create an environment where that diversity can show up by encouraging participation and actually perhaps being quiet so that those that may not naturally speak up will do so. Here's your third tip for your toolkit. As a leader, be accessible, right? It is often very intimidating when you might be an only on a team to speak to the leader, to ask questions, to show up in your full self. And so, as a leader, it's incumbent upon us to make ourselves available to them so that they can feel comfortable coming to you. Open door policy. You're just sitting down saying, "Hey, what's up? How's it going? What challenges are you having? what's going really well, making yourself accessible to folks to come to you and making yourself approachable will make all the difference in having a culture where people feel like inclusivity is the norm and that they can feel comfortable to be their full selves and that full self will be accepted on their team. Okay, so that's your third tip, y'all. Be accessible as a leader. Okay, I'm going through these fairly quickly, but I will make sure I pause and answer questions for sure. Um, but here is your fourth tip. And this one I always find to be super fun to share with leaders. Be curious. Have this posture of, I just want to learn, I just want to understand. And the reason why I say I tend to kind of get excited to share this one with leaders is because often as leaders, man, heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? We're supposed to know everything. We're not supposed to have a posture of learning. We know it all. But the dirty secret is we sure do not. And so the opportunity when you're building and maintaining a culture of inclusivity, of showing up as a learner will help your team share more of themselves, share more of their cultural norms, share more traditions, share more perspectives of maybe even what's going on at home that they're navigating because you have a posture of curiosity. You want to learn more of like, yeah, gosh, what is it like to go through Ramadan? Can you share a couple of things with me? I'd love to learn. How can I be helpful? Right? Versus, oh yeah, no, not Ramadan is. Yeah, you're fasting. I get it. Fine, cool. Okay, that just first of all just totally um closes the door. And remember that thing I told y'all before, be accessible, right? When you act like you know everything, then people don't feel like you want to hear from them, right? And so there might be, even if you do know all about Ramadan, cool, but there may be some nuance that your person is bringing from their cultural background, from where how they practice it. So having this behavior, this openness of I'm curious and asking questions, man, when I tell you that one is like, double click on that, y'all. That really will give people the sense that, oh wow, yeah, this place is pretty cool. This place is inclusive of me and who I'm bringing to work. My boss even asked me about Ramadan. How cool is that? I'm telling you, you're going to get a lot of cool points if you do this one. Because often as leaders, again, we don't do that because we think that that shows weakness to ask or to admit that we don't know something. But I will tell you, it's one of the most beautiful things you can do is learn from your team. For them to feel like they're able to provide some value to you in that way really will go a long way. So I highly recommend you adding that one to your toolkit. And then the last one, if you've heard me share before, if you've read any of my writings, you know I am a huge fan of psychological safety. I think it is, even though I'm sharing it last, it is paramount to anything relative to just building an effective team. And so to be a leader that has psychological safety at the front end of your mind will be so important. And so, what do I mean by that? What I mean is you create an environment, norms, cultural cues, written statements, written policies that says it is safe to take risk here. It is safe to bring your full self to work. It is safe to ask questions. It is safe to push back. Because if you're bringing in all these people with different perspectives, styles, and habits, but then you just want them to do it your way, not question how you do things, not offer a different perspective, then what was the point of all of it? But the environment has to feel what we say is psychologically safe for someone to say, oh, okay, I don't agree, or the way we did it in um, this other company, this other discipline is different. And I think it could add value if I share how we would solve that in my practice, back in this other location. That's what you want. You want those different perspectives. So create an environment that allows for that will help people to open up and to share and not be afraid and closed in providing you a different perspective. So those are your 5 tips, y'all. Bringing diverse people together encouraging when you bring them together to share and to participate, being accessible as a leader, open door, open mind, being curious and asking questions, and then creating a psychologically safe environment for folks to take risks and to offer their own insight and perspective are 5 keys, 5 tools to creating a culture that is complete with inclusivity. So I'm going to pause and give you time to ask any questions that you might have. Um, let's see. There was one that I know had come in previously that I thought maybe I would answer while you all are perhaps thinking about some questions. And it was a question around things, tools that people could use to better understand how their teams work best. There are lots of really great tools that will help you to understand kind of the diverse perspectives, the diverse styles that people are bringing to your team. And so, gosh, so many. Strength Finders is a really great one. DISC is another really strong one. MBTI has been out since forever. If you have access to that, that's another tool that you can use to learn about styles. I typically, when I'm coaching clients, I use the Enneagram. And so there are tons of different personality styles that'll help you, personality style inventories, assessments that will help you to fully understand, or at least better understand, the diversity of your team, the needs that they may have. For example, are they more introverted? Are they more data driven? Are they relational and prefer to get work done in collaboration? Those types of things may help you to know how to work with them, how to keep your team engaged and working effectively across the group. Because here's the thing, here's the gotcha, right? Being inclusive, having a culture of inclusivity is not just like a check the box, oh, that's the soup du jour of the season. It is a business asset to have an inclusive team, to have a culture of inclusivity. In fact, I remember reading this article from Gartner where they talked about, they said that 75% of organizations that had a decision-making body that was diverse, that was inclusive, 75% of them exceeded their financial targets. So this isn't just because this is just cute and Latoya is talking about it. This is a business imperative to have a diverse team because you're going to exceed your financial targets. Why? Because you have diverse perspectives helping you to solve challenges. You have diverse perspectives helping you to achieve your goals. Not everyone who thinks the same way. So now you got all kinds of innovation happening because of that diversity of the group. So know it's bigger than just, oh, that's just what people are talking about in the latest HBR article. No, makes business sense to not only bring a diverse team together, but then to create an environment where inclusivity is the baseline, because that is where innovation can be fostered and grow. So I hope that helps. I know someone had asked us that question before, and I wanted to make sure that I addressed it. Another question that has come in our past is around how do you prioritize inclusivity without being too intrusive? And I think that's a really great point to actually end with. This is where knowing your audience, knowing your team is so valuable. So if you know someone is a bit shy or not as like vocal about their perhaps some of their dimensions, then it might not be something you bring up in a team meeting unless you first ask them, maybe in a one-on-one meeting, hey, I'd love to share and have the team understand more about Ramadan. Would you be comfortable sharing a little bit of that during the meeting that we have coming up? That way you give them a chance to opt in or opt out. Now, if they said, no, I'm not comfortable speaking directly, but you can feel free to share, then you know that you need to take on that mantle and maybe share with your team at the next team meeting. Hey, here are some of the things we should know about Ramadan, just in case any of our colleagues here are practicing it, right? So it's important for you to kind of have your spidey senses on to know who would be more comfortable with that. But then even better is just ask them. What is okay? What are the boundaries? Are you comfortable with me asking you a few questions, etc.? So it's better to ask and learn from them than for you to make an assumption. Okay. So, man, 15 minutes always goes so fast, but I hope that you found some really useful gems, some useful tools to put in your toolbox around building a culture of inclusivity. Please feel free, if you want to talk more, to hit the link in the comments and set up some time we can chat. You can see I can talk about this all day. So if you want to hear more or ask me questions directly, feel free to hit the link in the chat, set up some time. I'd love to speak with you. Until next month, y'all. Take care. Bye.